Coming up on today's show, action-packed Browns news that you're going to love. John Harbaugh spoke on our new head coach and Todd Monken stats that you are going to love. And then finally, we have a pretty funny report. If you're a diehard Brownie, a diehard Browns fan, you may remember some of this. It's resurfacing now, and it's pretty ironic. So get ready, buckle up, get a snack, and let's get into today's show. But speaking of diehard fans, we have a head coach sub-battle going on here at Chat Sports because most of the AFC North has new head coaches, okay? And so the Steelers channel here, they've gained 343 new subscribers this week with their new head coach. Ravens have gained 182. We've gained 340. We are right there to take this lead. Listen, I don't want to lose to Steelers fans and Ravens fans. Browns fans, the diehards, show up, show out, hit that subscribe button. I want our new head coach to be better than these head coaches too next year. But off the field, I know that the bosses should be knowing that the Browns fans are the best fans in the AFC North. So hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. Let's win this subscriber battle. And before we get into the show, we also have awesome merch now dropping here at Chat Sports for the Browns Report and the Browns fans. Listen, Valentine's Day is coming up, folks. If you have a special someone in your life, a loved one, a wife of yours that married into Browns fandom, this is the perfect, comfortable t-shirt, sweatshirt for you. It's Cleveland's football women's t-shirt, ultra soft Cleveland's football women's sweatshirt. Let the world know that she's ride or die with Cleveland football just like you are. And maybe she married into this, didn't grow up a Browns fan, but make sure your special someone is repping the dog pound. I think it's a perfect Valentine's Day gift. It's super comfortable. You know, we actually had the women of the office, the significant others of our hosts and bosses, pick out the material. So trust they pick the most comfortable material for women. I know sometimes they can be very picky about fashion. Trust we had the women pick out the material. It's super comfortable. And if you use code VDAY5, you'll get $5 off. Now, that deal ends February 1st, so go to chatsports.com/BrownsVDay. That is chatsports.com/BrownsVDay. That link will be in the comment section and in the description of today's video. But with Valentine's Day coming up and a promo code of code VDAY5, I think it's a perfect gift to get your loved one to rep the dog pound with you. Let's dive into what John Harbaugh had to say about Todd Monken. Check this out. Todd is an outstanding coach. He has worked his way up and paid his dues. He was invaluable in what we did the past 3 years in Baltimore. He deserves this opportunity, and I believe he will be successful. Todd is a good friend. I wish him all the best with the Browns. That is from the one and only John Harbaugh. Says he's going to be successful with Cleveland. You see how much Harbaugh loves this guy. And my favorite thing, he said he was invaluable to all of Baltimore's offensive success. And I showed you guys this report the other day from Jordan Schultz, but case in point here, Ravens OL coach George Warhop has followed Monken to Cleveland, and he was also a serious candidate to join the Giants. There's a few situations like this unfolding where Monken is taking Ravens coaches with him to Cleveland that Harbaugh also wants. And so I think we're getting a trustworthy staff here just because of how much the great John Harbaugh has respect for all the coaches and players that Monken has coached and wants to bring to Cleveland. Monken also worked under Georgia head coach Kirby Smart. And take a look at what Kirby Smart had to say about the Browns' new head coach. Todd brought an exceptional level of professionalism and creativity to our program. His ability to develop quarterbacks and craft game plans tailored to our players' strengths was instrumental to our success. What we accomplished wouldn't have been possible without his impact. We're incredibly excited for Todd and Terry. This is my favorite thing, honestly. A quarterback developer. And notice how Kirby Smart said that he was crafting game plans based on players' strengths. It's a lot better than what Stefanski was doing. You see, Monken is calling plays that the players like. Stefanski was calling plays that he likes and thinks worked. I love that Monken's going to adapt to different systems, learn what the Browns' strengths are on offense, and build game plans accordingly. And by the way, while we're talking about Georgia, are they missing something here? Because when Todd Monken was the OC of the Georgia Bulldogs, they won back-to-back national championships. They have not won a playoff game since Monken left. Can you believe that? Now, obviously, Georgia's still been good. They've won the SEC a couple times, but they've never won a playoff game. When Monken was there, back-to-back natties with Stetson Bennett. And that honestly goes for a while because when you look at Monken's coaching history here most recently, I mean, he left Georgia after 2022. It's 4 years they haven't won a playoff game, that means. Told you he's been in multiple different systems. That includes the Tampa Bay Buccaneers system with some gunslinger quarterbacks that we'll talk about. He was the Browns OC in 2019, but that was the Freddie Kitchens year, ladies and gentlemen. I'll talk about that on the back half of the show. And obviously, most recently, time with the Baltimore Ravens. You see how he's just gone to different systems. I like that he is an offensive mind, and he's versatile. He's created a variety of different game plans for these different systems. And most recently with the Baltimore Ravens, I mean, you got to tip your cap and give credit where credit's due. The last 3 years, they're the number one team in terms of rushing yards. 166.9 per game, by the way. They're number 2 in scrimmage yards in this time frame. 3rd in points per game. 3rd in rushing touchdowns, and top 5 in receiving touchdowns. He's a great play caller, and I believe Todd Monken will call the plays for the Cleveland Browns next year. I think it's a good omen here. You know, let me tell you a little bit more about what I love about Todd Monken here offensively for the Cleveland Browns, right? He builds around players. He's going to take the young talent that the Browns have on offense and craft game plans specifically tailored to what they like to do. I briefly mentioned this, but look at the different quarterbacks that Todd Monken has worked with and found success with. Started with Stetson Bennett, who was a Heisman finalist at Georgia. He's a game manager quarterback. Then, in Tampa Bay, Monken has gotten a lot out of Jameis Winston, who's a straight gunslinger, as well as Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's making him look like a star in weeks 1 through 4 when Fitzpatrick would have to start. You know, I mean, the touchdown-interception ratio, a lot better for Winston under Monken as well. And then, completely different style quarterback than them all, Lamar Jackson, very mobile, and I would say Monken got the most out of Jackson than the other offensive coordinators in Baltimore. How do I know that? Check out this tweet from Dan Orlovsky. Lamar Jackson's passer rating with the different OCs he's worked with. With Monken, it's 109.5. When it was Greg Roman, that drops to 98.1. And then when he had Marty Mornhinweg, it was 84.5. Though 109.5, though, that's the highest in the NFL across the last 3 seasons. Does it not excite you a little bit what Monken does in the pass game with different quarterbacks? I think it's exactly what Cleveland needs, is someone to develop our players, because we've got a star roster on defense. We've got pieces on offense, yet we were sluggish last year. Bring in offensive linemen, and I think Monken creates a way better game plan than Kevin Stefanski did. He also hunts matchups, right? Again, it's more about his system based on what we have. It's not necessarily about just what he likes and is not taking the players into account. He puts players in positions to succeed. Baker would complain about Stefanski's play calling way back when. I'm telling you, I think Monken is going to do what the players like. You could even call him a player's coach. Specifically, he's excelled really well with tight ends, which is perfect for Cleveland's roster. Look at Georgia. Helped develop Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington, both NFL caliber tight ends. Bowers a stud. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely worked closely with them in Baltimore. Okay. Also bringing over Myers, who worked very closely with that tight end unit. Ran a nice two tight end set. Harold Fannin Jr. has been an absolute stud for us. We are happy to have him. Don't know that we'll be able to retain David Njoku, but if so, 2 tight ends is amazing for getting the most out of them under Todd Monken. You know, and they're not too shabby at blocking as well. I said Stetson Bennett was a Heisman finalist. Look at the numbers. Stetson Bennett, folks, 27-7 touchdown interception ratio, over 4,000 yards. And now Georgia's defense was stacked that year. I get it. But the point is, putting quarterbacks in positions to succeed, that is what Monken will do for the football team. And finally, a reason that the Cleveland Browns loved Monken and gave him the hire was his personality and leadership ability. Let me tell you, I've been listening to clips of Todd Monken talk about offense, talk about football. Personality's perfect. He's a respected guy. Players will listen to him. And Andrew Berry and Jimmy Haslam said this was a key reason why they hired Monken. Here's what Berry officially had to say. He has a direct, demanding, and detail-oriented leadership style that will create a great incubator for your young team. That's a weird way to phrase it, but okay. Successful offensive track record with a variety of offensive systems and quarterback skill sets. Exactly what I was getting at with the quarterback skills and different systems. But listen, Monken's a no-nonsense guy. He's not going to put up with any BS, okay? He has a good personality, players coach, but I've also been told he'll straight up just be honest with you, and Monken will just tell you how it is. In fact, if you want to go back, Browns fans, to 2019, check out this report that came out from The Athletic. Okay, so speaking of disgruntled offensive coordinators, Todd Monken's one season with the Browns was a disaster. Monken had the offensive coordinator title, but Kitchens was calling the plays, and it was clear that Kitchens and Monken's were never on the same page. So check out the highlighted part here, okay? Monken would spend time on the field before games, telling opposing coaches how bad things were with the Browns, calling the team a total mess, and saying that Kitchens' play calling steered away from most things that had been in the game plan from Wednesday to Saturday. I'm telling you, no nonsense here. He's going to call it out. Freddie Kitchens was the issue that year. For the people that want to point to, it didn't work with Monken as the OC. Kitchens called those plays, and as Monken said in that report, he strayed away from what they talked about in the game plans. Now that Monken's the lead guy and has even more experience and success under his belt, Lamar Jackson, a unanimous MVP under Todd Monken, I think it's going to benefit the Browns' system and game plan much more going forward. He's going to tell you how it is, be honest with you, and not listen to the outside noise. Jimmy Haslam added on to this concept and said, listen, Monken is a tough, respected, straightforward head coach. And I'll tell you, players do like him. People that have worked with Monken, they all love him. He's honest, smart, and direct. And for the Browns fans, the Cleveland guys, who knows about LaCharles Bentley? I tell you, he's pretty respected over in Cleveland. He tweeted out, great hire. Whatever happens with that group won't be a coaching issue. Players just got to play. You just got to play under Monken. This is what LaCharles Bentley, Cleveland legend, Cleveland native, is telling us, Browns fans. And so I like what I'm hearing more and more when I listen to Todd Monken and the reports that come with him. By the way, he's been a head coach finalist in years past. This is his first time being a head coach, and that's why I'm glad he's getting an opportunity. I think, like Harbaugh said, he deserves it after all his years of coaching in the NFL and in college football. He's got 37 years of coaching experience. He was a finalist for the Jets, and they made an awful decision. They hired Adam Gase that year. Was also a finalist for the Green Bay Packers head coach job, but they ultimately went with Matt LaFleur, who is their guy. And like I already alluded to, the players like him. Everybody I've heard that has worked with Monken has said positive things. That includes Ryan Fitzpatrick, says he loved playing for Todd Monken and his style of play. The coaches at the top of the show I showed you, Kirby Smart, John Harbaugh, utmost respect for Monken, that they're coming out and speaking about it and happy for him to get this opportunity. I'm honestly getting more and more glad about the hire, Browns fans. I think that immediate reaction put a lot of people, in different directions, and losing Schwartz probably makes it worse. But I like the Monken hire, and I'm more optimistic about this, and now we can come alive next year and have some good offense to go with our top 5 defense. That's how you actually contend next year. So you tell me, Browns fans, will the Browns have more than 5 wins next season? Are we going to beat that total from 2025? Give me a Y for yes, type N for no if you think it's going downhill. But I almost can guarantee you we will have a better season next season under Monken than we did with Stefanski. I'm typing my Y for yes. We're getting way more than 5 wins next year, Browns fans. I'm going to manifest it. Hope it's true. You tell me in that comment section. Also, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me here on today's show. Don't forget to buy your Valentine's Day shirts from the Browns Report. That is coming up with a promo code, $5 off. Ends February 1st. Hit that sub button. Appreciate you all so much for being here with me on today's show. And let's go, Browns.